Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MTA Redemption. We are live here, 32 monster trucks set to do battle. Who's going to walk away the Redemption champion? These trucks are all dialed in. They all want to make a name for themselves, but there can only be one Redemption champion. Let's move into round number one now. First up in round number one here at MTA Redemption is going to be Predator taking on King Crunch. We haven't seen Predator or King Crunch in quite some time. Both trucks have been getting their trucks prepped for this show. Who's going to round number two? Predator with a slight lead up and over the cars, and King Crunch will walk on by him over that second set of cars, moving on to round number two. Up next, we've got Gunslinger taking on Virginia Giant. Two Fords set to do battle. Virginia Giant, Gunslinger getting set to go green. Gunslinger with a slight lead up and over the cars. Some big air by Virginia Giant, and we'll walk on by Gunslinger, moving on to round number two. Up next, we've got Prowler taking on Zombie. 2 weeks ago, Zombie took home the Thursday Night Thunder Checkered Flag Championship. Can he do better here at Redemption? Door handle to door handle up and over, and Prowler will outrun Zombie, getting in front of him just barely. Chillin' Villain making a debut here tonight, taking on Michigan Ice Monster. Who's going on to round number two? Chillin' Villain pulls on Michigan Ice Monster up and over, and Chillin' Villain will move on to round number two. Michigan Ice Monster getting hung up on the cars. Bulldozer set to take on Avenger, that 1957 Chevy Nomad, set to take on the Crazy Bull. Who's moving on to round number two? Both trucks look even down the straight stretch. Roll over by Bulldozer. Bulldozer caught a bad bounce off that first set of cars and turned the truck over. He will move on to round two. Stonecrusher now set to take on UFO. Again, two Fords set to do battle. Who's going on to round number two? Stonecrusher with a little bit of a lead. Hard roll for Stonecrusher, and UFO will walk the dog and put Stonecrusher on the trailer, moving on to round number two. Up next, Mutant takes on Gas Monkey. Both of these trucks have ran good in the last few events. Who's moving on to round number two? Gas Monkey, Mutant as we go green. Gas Monkey with a strong lead up and over the cars, and Gas Monkey will block Mutant, moving on to round number two. Gas Monkey moves on. Up next here in round one, Overkill set to take on Outlaw. Both trucks have made their appearances here before. Who moves on to round number two? Overkill with a slight lead up and over the cars, and Overkill will move on to round number two. Outlaw goes back home. Moving on now, Sudden Impact set to take on Carolina Crusher. Ford versus Chevrolet. Who moves on to round number two here at MTA Redemption? Both trucks looking even. Sudden Impact pulls out on him. Carolina Crusher rolls the truck over. Gets a bad bounce off that first set of cars, turn the truck over. Black Stallion set to take on the Hot Wheels machine. Black Stallion's been in these events before, hasn't been able to come out on top. Here we go now down the straight stretch, up and over the cars, and Hot Wheels will take it to the wall. Black Stallion goes back to Hagerstown, Maryland. Bad Habit now set to take on Blacksmith. Both these trucks have raced here before. Who moves on to round number two? We haven't seen him in quite some time. Door handle to door handle, up and over, and Bad Habit caught a bad bounce and turned the truck. Blacksmith will walk on by, moving on to round number two. Up next, we've got American Guardian taking on Devastator. Two strong Chevrolets. Both have won Thursday Night Thunder before. Who moves on to round number two? American Guardian with a strong lead. And American Guardian will outrun Devastator. Another look at it right here. Gets over that second set of cars with ease. Moving on to round number two. Out of the Team Bigfoot camp is Wildfoot, set to take on Son of a Digger. Son of a Digger made its debut a couple weeks ago on Thursday Night Thunder. Who moves on to round number two as we get set to go green? And they're dead even down the straight stretch, up and over. Son of a Digger rides it out on two wheels. Wildfoot takes it to the wall. Son of a Digger rolls over. Wildfoot moves on to round number two. Up next is Gravedigger, set to take on Whiplash. Who's moving on to round number two? Gravedigger, Whiplash as we get set to go green. Whiplash with a strong lead, up and over. Whiplash gets bobbled up. Gravedigger moves on to round number two. What a ride for the Whiplash machine. Up next here in round number one, we've got Bad News Travels Fast out of Elkton, Virginia. Bigfoot out of Pacific, Missouri, and that big bad Ford. Who moves on to round number two? Ford versus Chevrolet as we get set to go green. Bigfoot pulls on Bad News up and over the cars. Bad News rides it out on two wheels. Bigfoot moves on to round number two, taking it to the wall. Nitro Machine set to take on Eradicator. Three-time Thursday Night Thunder champion in Nitro Machine set to take on the Eradicator Chevrolet. Eradicator and Nitro dead even. What a wheel stand by Nitro. Nitro, look at this right here. What a wheel stand. He will move on to round number two. Unbelievable run. Here we go. Round number two at MTA Redemption. We're one step closer to crowning a champion. King Crunch set to take on Virginia Giant out of Winchester, Virginia. Ford versus Chevrolet as we get set to go green. King Crunch Chevrolet pulls on Virginia Giant, but Virginia Giant will walk on him in the big end, Moving on to round number 3, King Crunch into the wall. Up next here in round number 2, we've got Chillin' Villain set to take on Prowler. Chillin' Villain looks strong in round number 1, debuting that truck here. Who moves on to round number 3 as we go green? They're dead even. Prowler with a slight edge. Chillin' Villain rolls the truck over. Prowler will take it to the wall. Moving on to round number 3. Chillin' Villain on the trailer for the night. UFO set to take on Bulldozer. UFOs look good on Thursday Night Thunder. Can he have enough to take out the Bulldozer here in round number 2 as we go green? UFO with a strong lead up and over the cars, and UFO will take it to the wall. Bulldozer goes home empty-handed. UFO moves on to round number 3. Up next, we've got Gas Monkey set to take on Overkill. Gas Monkey looked bad fast in round number 1. Can he have enough to take out Overkill, or will Overkill upset the Gas Monkey machine? Gas Monkey with a strong lead, and they get into each other on the big end. It looks like Gas Monkey's got it out for him, and he might have enough MTA official down here, and Gas Monkey will move on. Hot Wheels set to take on Sudden Impact. 2 Fords set to duke it out here on MTA Redemption. Who moves on to round number 3? Sudden Impact with a hard lead, but Hot Wheels walks on him in the big end, taking it to the wall. Sudden Impact goes home on the trailer. Moving right along with round number 2, American Guardian set to take on Blacksmith. Here we go, Chevrolet and American Guardian, your first ever Thursday Night Thunder champion. Looking even down the straight stretch, up and over the cars, hard roll for American Guardian. He got bobbled up in no man's land. MTA official down here now. And American Guardian's got it by a tire. He moves on to round number 3. Wildfoot set to take on the Gravedigger. Ford versus Chevrolet. Who moves on to round number 3 as we get set to go green? Wildfoot pulls on Gravedigger down the straight stretch, but Gravedigger will pass him in the big end. And Team Gravedigger moves on to round number 3. Up next here in round 2, we've got Nitro Machine set to take on Bigfoot. Who's going on to round number 3? Ford versus Chevrolet in that Astro van. Looking even, Bigfoot with a slight edge. Another wheel stand by Nitro, but it will not be enough. Bigfoot turns it over on the big end, and he will move on to round number 3. Here we go, round 3 at MTA Redemption. Virginia Giant set to take on Prowler. Virginia Giant team out of Winchester, Virginia's been looking strong all night, but will Prowler make the upset? Who knows as we get set to go green. Down the straight stretch, Virginia Giant with the lead, up and over the cars. Virginia Giant will outrun Prowler. Prowler gets caught up in no man's land and turns the truck over. UFO set to take on Gas Monkey. This ought to be a barn burner of a matchup. Both trucks have been bad fast all night long. Who's going on to the semifinals? UFO with a slight edge. Gas Monkey trying to play catch up. UFO will take it on to the big end, putting Gas Monkey on the trailer. Up next, Hot Wheels set to take on American Guardian. Hot Wheels has been fast all night long. Can American Guardian take it out to him? Hot Wheels up and over. Hard roll for American Guardian. Hot Wheels takes it to the wall. American Guardian takes it to the trailer. Hot Wheels moves on. Up next, we've got Bigfoot taking on Gravedigger. Only here on Monster Truck Attitude will you see this matchup. Both trucks looking even down the straight stretch, up and over. Bigfoot rolls over. Gravedigger will walk on by him. Moving on to the semifinals. MTA track crew down here now. They're going to roll that Bigfoot truck back over. Bigfoot wanted to make the upset, but Gravedigger for the first time will move on to the semifinals. Bigfoot goes home back to Pacific, Missouri. Here we go now. Semifinal time here at MTA Redemption. One step closer to the championship. UFO set to take on Virginia Giant. 2 Fords set to do battle. Who's moving on to the finals? UFO, Virginia Giant as we get set to go green. Both trucks door handle to door handle down the straight stretch, up and over the cars, and UFO will cut Virginia Giant off. UFO is in the finals. Who meets UFO in the finals? Will it be Hot Wheels or the Gravedigger? Who knows? Ford versus Chevrolet as we get set to go green. Both trucks looking even down the straight stretch. Hot Wheels turns the truck over. Gravedigger goes all the way to the other side. Gravedigger will meet UFO in the finals. MTA track crew down here now going to flip the Hot Wheels truck back on all 4 tires. They gave a stellar performance here tonight. Gave it all they had. The truck ran strong, just a bad bounce and turned it over. Well, this is what we all came to see. The MTA Redemption Finals. 2 of the best trucks that performed here tonight. UFO set to take on the Gravedigger for the first time ever. Gravedigger has made it to the finals. UFO's been strong all night, but so is the Gravedigger machine. Who's taking home the Redemption Championship as we get set to go green? Down the straight stretch, Gravedigger with a slight lead, up and over the cars. UFO will take it to the wall, and UFO will be your MTA Redemption Champion. Congratulations to James Valencourt and UFO for winning Redemption.
standing tall up in victory lane. I done brought the pain and now they screaming my name. Yeah, everybody saw me rock the place. Now there's flashbulbs are popping and mics in my face. Always giving the crowd what they need. Now they're wearing my shirts front row to nosebleed. Now the crowd forms is what it's all about. Signing autographs until the lights out. Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching MTA Redemption. We hope you enjoyed the show. It was definitely a great performance by all members. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, check us out on Facebook, and make sure you crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you down the road. See you next time.